Yeah. Chapter 10: Unconditional Love and Creation. The greatest power that mankind could ever achieve is the power of unconditional love. This is when people love with no limitation, conditions, or boundaries. Tony Green. Unconditional love. I learned about unconditional love from my extraordinary girlfriend, Makina. For most of my life, I always questioned everything. I had to know the reason behind why things were the way they were. Otherwise, I would go crazy. I couldn't just experience life knowing the meaning and reasoning behind everything. Naturally, as everyone would in a relationship, after dating her for about a year at the time, I asked Makina why she loved me. She innocently replied that she didn't know why, she just knew she did. Then she asked me why I loved her, and I listed off dozens of different reasons why. It ranged from her beautiful smile to her adorable laugh, how pure her heart is, how much she loves her family, how intelligent she is, and the list goes on almost indefinitely. We've been dating for 6 years now, and every few months after the first time I asked, I would ask her why she loved me, and even up until this point, she still says the same thing. I don't know, I just know that I love you a lot. This slightly bothered me for so long because I didn't understand why she didn't know why she loved me. I could list off 50 reasons of why I loved her, but she couldn't list a few. Even still, throughout the years, I loved her so much, I didn't really mind that she didn't know. I just accepted it and continued to love her anyway because I couldn't help myself. It wasn't until a few months ago that it dawned on me as to why she couldn't think of reasons of why she loved me. I began to question the reasons that I had for why I loved Makina. Then I had an epiphany that changed my life forever. I asked myself, did I love her because of her laugh or because she loves helping other people? What happens if she doesn't laugh one day or doesn't help somebody that day? Do I stop loving her if she doesn't do the things that I said were the reasons that I loved her? I realized that if I create reasons for why I love her, then it makes my love for her conditional to those specific traits or actions. And if she doesn't do them, then I don't love her. This is, of course, not true. In that moment, I'll just finish this paragraph. In that moment, I had an awe inspiring insight that Makina couldn't list off reasons why she loved me because her love for me was unconditional. There was no reason for why she loved me because if she had reasons, it would mean she only loved me if I were excluding those traits or doing those things she had in her mind. Do I continue or do I stop?
Yeah, let somebody else take it.
Yeah, someone please pick up.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah,
Good morning,
take it.
everyone.
Tanuja, your mic is not very clear. Just see.
Good morning, everyone. Am I audible?
You're audible, but very soft.
Should I go ahead?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. Her love for me is not based on my mood or what I did.
Mm.
Her love for me is not based on my mood or what I did. Her love for me goes beyond all reasons and does not come from a place of reciprocity. Uh, she does not love me because I love her, nor is she loving me because of what I can do for her. She's experiencing so much love within herself that it's an outpour of an abundance of love that she is gifting me unconditionally. Attempting to articulate the feeling of this and where it comes from is probably the hardest thing I have ever done in my life because I am attempting to describe the indescribable. From this experience, I learned to make my love for McKenna unconditional by not placing reasons or conditions for when I would love her. because if I did that, by default, I place conditions on when I would not love her. There is just so much love in me now because I've experienced it that there is simply an outpour of unconditional love where I can't help but love her no matter what. This unconditional love doesn't come from external reasons but comes from within, from the infinite source we all came from. We are all connected to this pure unconditional love, which is God, the universe, or whichever name you choose to use. The only thing that gets in the way of this is our own thinking, which separates and cuts us off from that unconditional love. Unconditional creation. Unconditional creation is the purest form of creation there is. when something when something is created from unconditional love, we can't help but to stand there and admire it in awe. Unconditional creation is always innovative, unique, new, captivating, bold, different, revolutionary in its own way. Very few people operate in this space because we always put conditions around what we do or make. For example, whenever we are working to achieve a goal of making more money, we might go and try to create income for ourselves. This is conditional creation because no one wants money just to have money. Most people want money for something else or to be able to use it for another thing they want. This, by nature, makes what they are creating conditional. They are only creating this because they want something else out of it. When we create something for something else, typically we do not enjoy the process of creating because it is always just a means to an end, never an end in itself.
Please, a little slow, Tanuja. We are trying to take in thoughts. You're reading too fast.
This is why we always feel like we are chasing, grinding, hustling, trying, and feeling constantly stressed and overwhelmed. Even after we accomplish our goal, we will only enjoy it for those few seconds, and then we are off to another goal we have to chase because we never actually got what we were looking for. What we are ultimately looking for are feelings. We want more money to get a sense of security and peace. We want to spend time with our family because it makes us feel so much joy and love. We want to do what we love because it gives us a sense of fulfillment inside. These are all ultimately feelings that we are trying to get, but we keep thinking that the goal or object we want will give us those feelings. This idea is inherently flawed because our feelings can only ever be generated from within us, not from external things. External things can prompt us to create the feelings, but ultimately it is us that produces these feelings from within ourselves.
Thank you. Who would like to take it up next?
Me,
Yeah, please go ahead.
what's paradoxical, like everything in duality of life, is that when we create something without condition or reasons, we actually immediately feel all of the positive feeling we want. Unconditional creation is creating something without it, being for another purpose, but purely to create it, because we just want to create it. It's not for money, fame, love, or anything else. We create it simply because we want to create it. This is creation for abundance. When we create from this state, we already feel full inside, and all of the love we want to feel is what we are feeling in the moment. We can only pursue unconditional creation if we are in the state of non thinking. Our brains will make us think that it is pointless to do something just simply because we want to. But this is the secret. As soon as we do things for no other reason, we step into the realm of living our life unconditionally. This is when we experience flow, oneness, and a direct connection to the universe.
What a beautiful chapter.
Yes, sir.
Let's have some discussion on this.
Can one continue in life with an unconditional love? I'm talking of, there are two things. One is towards a person and towards some other purpose. Towards a person, yes, you can give unconditional love, but if the person is not worth it, should one continue? Not worth it in the sense maybe the person has negative values or behavior is not as committed towards us, towards me, let's put it, not us. Pinaki always says use I. So if the I love somebody, but the person does not love me as much, can this one-sided love, how long can it continue? It will give me more pain in the long run than happiness. Unless, as I said, the person has positive values, yes, the person may respond and I may be a happy person. Like in my case, uh, I loved my husband unconditionally, and it always gave us lots of happiness because there was a response from his side. So, we were not young when we fell in love. And then we decided to get married so that love had some value, some meaning, because the person is well educated, has some standing, and would support me in life. But can I just do Bollywood style, just unconditional love? I think I'm making a fool of myself. Not that I'm saying everything should have a condition, but I cannot let my life go down the drain. Can I? This is just a question I'm asking. Thank you.
What do you think? आपको क्या लगता है?
Unconditional love is there, but the person should also be worth it.
Then it's not unconditional. When you're bringing this word should in that
Yeah, so
communication,
that means you should love Bollywood style. किसी के बस पीछे भी जाओ और शादी कर लो and ruin your life.
again, it's a should word that you're applying. See, when there
Yes,
is
yes, but it is.
unconditional love has nothing to do with should or nothing to do with expecting reciprocation from
That's
somebody else.
fine. That's fine. But that also means my life will go down the drain.
Then it's not unconditional at all.
Maybe. But can I let my life go down the drain?
That's your
Like,
choice.
see, I'll give you an example. Uh, of course, I loved my husband because he was worth it, because he had positive values, because he was honest in his medical practice, and he loved me positively. On the other hand, let me tell you, my Masi's daughter, she has gone and married. This is a concrete example in my family. She has gone and married, and with no exaggeration, let me tell you, she has married a gangster. Would you call it unconditional love? Today she's repenting. क्या करने का अनकंडीशनल लव लेके?
Then
Not
it
that
is.
you
Then
love
it
a
is.
person for positive values. Those values are, life based.
People love others even for negative values. The point is, the moment when we're using the word unconditional, it actually means unconditional,
Yeah, but you're
and
ruining your life.
that is a
My
different
Masi's
game
daughter, she
altogether.
has gone in and married a gangster. I will not name the gangster, but she has married it.
That is different thing. Unconditional love has nothing to do with positive or negative.
So is that
Unconditional
correct
love,
what she did?
there is nothing right or wrong about it. Unconditional is unconditional. When it is unconditional, there is nothing right or wrong about it.
That is different, but she has ruined her life.
That's an outcome of the action that she had taken.
Fine, but is it the right way?
Again, unconditional means unconditional, no condition attached. There is
Fine, but
nothing
is
right.
it right from life
That
point of view?
that is nothing right or wrong about it.
What is
She
the
loved the
person's
person.
point of view?
She loved the person. She didn't
Who has
love
gone through what is their point
what
of view is important. It is not me or you to decide what is about that. If the lady, the person whom you are talking about, if she is in having unconditional love, maybe that is why she is still continuing with that person. Otherwise, she would have left as of by now. I don't know the whole thing, so not right to comment, which is very difficult thing to do.
Yeah, it has shaken
Uh,
our family.
your family, what about the person who married? Did she marry
No,
by
she
her
is
choice?
also not happy today.
Did she
She's
marry
also
by her
not happy
choice?
today, but she doesn't have the
Did she
guts to leave him now because gangsters are gangsters. They will threaten her.
just a minute? Answer the question. Did she marry by her own choice?
Yeah, who else? Who else? Who
Okay.
will ever support a gangster?
So that was no. If Yeah, if she has married by her own choice, maybe at that point there is some condition for which she has loved.
Yeah,
We
at
don't
that
know the
point,
whole thing.
yes. But from life
We
point of
don't know the
view,
whole thing.
at that point,
We
yes,
don't know the
correct.
whole thing, so we should not comment on that. But
No, but I
that's
know,
what
no,
the author is saying.
at
Yeah,
that
then
point
you
of
have the
time,
answer. So there is no point. You have the answer of that. See, the person, the author is saying he was looking into McKenna's love. That's what the author is thinking. You may
yeah,
agree to
so
that, you may
Bollywood style.
disagree to that.
Bollywood
Yeah, that
style.
is what I don't know. It is what you think. That's what Pinaki always says, is that you think what this book tells you to stop thinking.
See, you would
Now,
think
he,
differently
yeah,
now.
so
So,
if you see the example the author has given. It is not your example that he is saying here. He is saying between him and his wife loved him unconditionally. He loved her with some conditions. He loved her because she loved his family. He loved her because she gave him space. And then he asked himself, if that space is gone, will I stop loving her? And then he
no,
realized
it's not
love
that.
should be unconditional.
No.
And if that is not unconditional, that maybe it is not love.
Yeah, it's not that. You can always be
That's it.
sincere in every situation,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. See, that's the
Even
difference
if
that
marry
has
a
to be
person
made.
for give
You
love
have to
to a
stop
person,
thinking. If you are
give
able to
love.
stop thinking, then that love will come in. Otherwise, it will not come.
Yeah.
You may
You
repent,
always
you
be
may
sincere
then
and
think.
give good
It is
dimension to the
logical
love.
when it is love, there is no logic required. And if it is, then it is unconditional love.
Oh, that's fine. That's
Yeah,
fine.
that
But
hope that
I'm
answers.
sure you would think differently if it was your daughter or your sister who was doing it. Let me tell you this also.
See, this book is about not thinking. So if you are thinking, then the book is not done its purpose with us,
Yeah.
with the person whom we are talking about. If you are able to stop thinking, then the book is doing its purpose. Maybe we are not yet reached that level
Yeah.
where
Yeah. Just stop
I have
thinking.
stopped thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stop thinking about it.
Hmm, that's interesting. Conditional means you are expecting something out of whatever you're doing. Unconditional is you are not expecting anything out of
So your audio is not very.
it. See, conditional is wherever you have some expectation. Unconditional is where you do not have any expectation. It's as simple as that. Whenever you are expecting something out of something, that is definitely conditional because you are expecting that to happen. If it doesn't happen, then you'll go some other way, you will pick up some other things. When it is unconditional, then you are not even bothered whatever you're expecting and whether your expectations are matching or not.
Yeah. So that's what I said. It comes to Bollywood style.
There's no Bollywood style, Mangalama. You are just attaching it to that label. It's not Bollywood style. Nothing to do with Bollywood anyway. It's all about the way you are thinking about it. Even the discussion that you are having with us right now, we are having with you right now, many of us may be focusing on कि कैसी हो मंगला मैम को ये साबित करवाना ही है कि वो जो सोच रही है ये ऐसा ठीक नहीं है कोई सोच रहे हैं चलिए लेट अस हैव अ कन्वर्सेशन विदाउट एनी अटैचमेंट जो होगा होगा अभी 8 बजे तक तो ये चलेगा उसका हम छोड़ दें क्या फर्क पड़ता है सो द पॉइंट इज दैट व्हेन this is again a way of having a conditional unconditional discussion. Conditional discussion is something where I'm expecting the other person to at least listen whatever I'm saying, at least believe whatever I'm saying. That is taken into consideration whatever I'm saying. Unconditional will be सुन रहा है नहीं सुन रहा है क्या फर्क पड़ रहा है मैं तो सुन रहा हूँ मेरे लिए तो अच्छा हो रहा है ना. Similarly, listening is also conditional and unconditional in most of the time. Conditional listening is कि इनसे मुझे जरूर सुनना है ये जो कहते हैं the kind of the angle that this person brings in that always helps me. It allows me to think in a different way altogether. कंडीशनल थिंकिंग क्या लिसनिंग क्या होगा वो कुछ भी बोले मैं जो अपने आप को बोल रहा हूँ मैं जो साबित करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ वही सही है दैट इज कंडीशनल थिंक तो द गेम ऑफ कंडीशनल एंड अनकंडीशनल is going on simultaneously in our life at every moment. The point is that I have to catch myself. Think about the love of a mother for her child. एक
That is
फादर भी अपने चाइल्ड को इतना प्यार नहीं करता जितना मदर करता है, और मदर का चाइल्ड प्यार हमेशा अनकंडीशनल होता है आइडियल. A mother becomes a mother the moment she conceives the baby. A father becomes when the baby is out. For any reason, if the baby is not out, that guy still doesn't become a father. But the mother has already gone through that experience of motherhood. That is unconditional.
I think over here the mother has no choice, whereas in life I can have a choice.
See,
Choice,
wherever you're making a choice, that is conditional because you are
fine.
making a choice
Choice,
based on
yes, but
certain
if you
criteria.
want quality life, you need to make a choice.
It's okay. Again, that is another condition that I want to have a quality life.
But why is unconditional given more value then?
That is किसने किसने वैल्यू दिया? आप दे रहे हो इसलिए. Unconditional का कोई वैल्यू नहीं है. It's we are not talking about any value. We are only talking about a state. It's a state of mind. Nothing to do with value. It's just a state of mind. Unconditional love for God. God क्या करता हो तो कुछ भी नहीं करता होता, एक मूर्ति है. कुछ लोगों के लाइफ में गॉड एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करता. They don't even exist in think of or they believe in existence of God. They believe in exist something else. कुछ लोग हैं किसी भी चीज में बिलीव नहीं करते. So it has nothing to do with values. It's the pure state of your mind at that point of time. That's it. This is what this chapter is talking about. To observe that state of mind. Is that state of mind associated with some condition? If yes, it's okay, nothing wrong with that. If no, even that is not, there is also nothing wrong with that. It's just observe. So the point is when you're in that unconditional state, you are experiencing bliss in your life. That's what uh, Gwen is talking about. और ये ग्वेन तो अभी बात करी इस किताब में 2022 साल. 2022 साल पहले भी हमने मतलब मोर देन 2000 3000 ईयर्स अगर जब हमारे ऋषियों ने हमारे स्क्रिप्चर्स लिखे थे तब भी उन्होंने यही बातें लिख के गए थे. Wherever you are experiencing an unconditional state, that is the state of bliss that you are enjoying because that is something where you have no condition attached. कोई लॉजिक अटैच नहीं है, कोई रीजन अटैच नहीं है. इट्स दैट लव फॉर श्री कृष्ण, मीराबाई का जो प्यार था उनके लिए, राधा का जो प्यार था कृष्णा के लिए, ये सब अनकंडीशनल. सो राधा वाज मैरिड yet she loved. Mirabai was married yet she loved. That love was unconditional. It has nothing to do with anything else. आप उनका को पूछते भी कि आप इनसे क्यों इतना प्यार करते हो, they can't give any answer. They just say that yes, that's it. This is what is being talked about in this chapter. What we read for about 5 to 7 minutes, it's all about observing your state of mind at that point of time. Is it conditional or unconditional? If it is unconditional, you are enjoying the bliss, the divine blessings at that point of time. If it is not, then it is your own creation, followed by certain reasons. इसी की वजह से, इसी की वजह से, इसीलिए. तो जहां पे इसी की वजह से, जहां पे इसीलिए एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता, दैट इज द अनकंडीशनल पार्ट ऑफ इट और अनकंडीशनल एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ इट. It may be love, it can be anger also, it may be depression also, it may be excitement also, it may be encouragement also, it can be motivation also. There are certain people जिनको देखते ही हम encouraged हो जाते हैं, motivated हो जाते हैं. And most of the time they are the people जिनके साथ मेरा कोई direct relationship नहीं है, but उनको देखते ही मैं excited हो जाता हूँ. मे बी शाहरुख खान, मे बी प्रियंका चोपड़ा, मे बी लता मंगेशकर, उनका गाना सुना तो बस मैं एक्साइटेड हो गया. डू आई हैव एनी रिलेशनशिप विद हर? नो. तो प्रोबेबली जहाँ पे हम लोगों के साथ किसी और का डायरेक्ट रिलेशनशिप नहीं है, बट फिर भी आई गेट एक्साइटेड अबाउट दैट पर्सन और एनीथिंग आई हियर अबाउट दैट पर्सन, दोज आर दोज ब्लिसफुल मोमेंट्स. That is what the author is suggesting कि आप अपने आप को observe करो. Just observe that the state of mind that you're having right now, is it conditional or unconditional? And if it is conditional, ask yourself, in that case, why? What is behind, which is why I am being that way at that point of time? Yes, Sakshi, sorry to interrupt you. Please go ahead. Okay, anybody else would want to add to anything to this before we move on to chapter 11? Yes, Vardan. Vasu, please go ahead.
Yeah.
Actually,
I have
observe
just
yourself,
small,
right? Yeah.
just a small story to share. We are telling about the story of one girl called as Radhika. This girl Radhika went to some place where she found very good mangoes in, and she picked up the mangoes. Then she ate about 10, 15 mangoes on that 2, 3 days where she was near that garden. Then she had this person who takes care of the garden. So, and she asked him that I want to eat it every day. How can I do it? Then as a result, he gives her a seed, mango seed, and tells her कि इसको जाके अपने घर में लगाओ. थोड़े दिन के बाद आपको आम मिलेगा. So this girl, maybe 8, 7 years old, she went home. She put the tree. She started watering it, and after say 2 years, the tree had some leaves on it, some growth on it. You can understand how much a mango tree grows after 2 years. And then mangoes came in other garden, but this particular tree did not give any mangoes by that time. She went to her mother, asked her that I love that tree, and it is to give mangoes, but it is not giving. Is my love not enough? So just keep this thought with you, and then see whether what was the difference of Radhika and what would have her mother replied. Keep yourself in your mother's place and then try to answer the question. So, not to think about it, just the thought that would come and just absorb that thought. I leave it at that.
Awesome. All right. Let's go ahead with the next chapter and catch yourself at any given point of time now onwards for the rest of your life, and in what state you are at any given point of time when it matters most to you. If there is an expectation associated, it's definitely not unconditional at all. And wherever you are experiencing that magical bliss, those are the moments which are unconditional, and probably you can't find any reason to attach with those moments. All right. Anyway, we have a whole 1 week to practice it. Just practice it and come back next Sunday that what you discover for yourself. Here we go. Who would like to read next?
Yeah, I will read this. Chapter 11. What do you what do you do next after experiencing peace, joy, love and fulfillment in the present? Don't think it complicates things. Just feel, and it feels like home, then follow its path. If you are applying the principles in the book, you have most likely been able to find peace through non-thinking. If not, I highly encourage you to remember that all of our negative feelings come from our thinking. All you have to do is to become aware of that fact, which will settle the thinking just like the debris settling in dirty water. Once you see that it is just your thinking and that there's nothing to be afraid of, then you will experience true peace in your life in the present. Once you have been able to experience peace, you might be unsure as to what to do next. At this point of time, you may be experiencing worry, anxiety, and doubt. Many of my clients, including myself, began to wonder if they lost their edge and drive to do anything in the world. Don't worry, this is all normal and part of the process of awakening. You have already learned the hardest part, which is practicing non thinking and preventing your negative thinking from controlling your life. The reason why we feel worried, anxiety, and doubt after we have experienced peace is because we have just let go of everything we thought we knew in the world. What actually happened was the death of the personal ego. A natural consequence is that once the personal ego is threatened, it will do everything in its power to regain control over life again. The ego is something that we can't quite get rid of forever, which is why even after you experience peace, there may be feelings of doubt, worry, and anxiety coming up. It is in this moment that ego will come back up to attempt to reclaim your throne. But worry not, because you have already learned how you can quickly dismantle your ego. Your thinking. By remembering that your thinking is the only cause of your negative feelings. The point is not to try to prevent your thinking from ever entering your mind, but to shorten the time that it takes for you to remember that it is just your thinking that's causing the negative emotions. It's impossible to prevent thinking from happening because it's so ingrained in us. For example, it's in our human nature that when we suddenly see For example, it's in our human nature that when we suddenly see that we are about to step on a venomous snake on our path, we will freak out. When you realize that it's just a piece of rope, you see through the illusion, knowing that your thinking is what caused you to become afraid, and you resume your peaceful walk on the beautiful trail. We can't prevent that initial reaction, but we can always remember the truth and return to our natural state of peace. And that's all that matters. Another reason that we may feel anxiety, worry, and doubt once we experience peace is because we were using a colossal amount of energy when we were thinking all of the time. Most people spend the majority of their day in a state of stress, that is, on thinking, which consumes enormous amounts of energy. When we stop thinking, this energy you used to think is now freedom. So I will repeat this sentence. When we stop thinking, this energy you used to use to think is now freedom. But it hasn't been directed anywhere yet. And what happens is we return to our old patterns of putting that energy back into thinking because that is how we were conditioned. What we can do in this case is to channel the newfound energy into our goals of inspiration. This is the cure and intervention of preventing this energy from going back into overthinking. For this to work, make sure that you have spent some time creating your goals out of inspiration versus desperation and having it top of mind so that you can channel all your energy towards it once you experience this phenomenon. If you have only goals of desperation in your mind, then directing energy towards it will only perpetuate the thinking and negative feelings. What tends to help many people in this stage is also have an activation ritual. An activation ritual is a morning routine that helps them to get into a state of non-thinking and flow. It helps me build momentum in a positive direction immediately when I wake up so that it's easier to stay in that state of non thinking for the rest of the day. An object of motion will stay in motion. I never understood why spiritual masters and all great leaders have a morning routine until I understood the power of non thinking and momentum.
Thank you. Let somebody else also read it. Oh, we are at the end.
I will
Okay.
finish this. Here's the good news that Here's the good news. Now that all of your energy isn't tied up into thinking anymore. You can now use this freed up energy and channel it into creating new goals from inspiration to fuel and propel you into your new life full of peace, joy, and love.
What a beautiful chapter. Oh, this this one chapter is so
It comes
blissful.
at the heart of this.
Yeah, this one
If
chapter
you
is
see
so
this
blissful.
page, chapter 11.
Let's have a full discussion on this. Who would like to start?
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Hi, sweet morning, that's Sakshi. Go ahead.
I will say only one word for this: energy boomerang.
So, what do you mean by that?
We drain our energy again and again in thinking.
Replace V with I and then see what happens.
And most of the part is wasted sometimes. If we are not able to think where the flow is, where the flow is leading to, if only in thinking direction, then useless. Or if it is in thoughtful, then it is useful. We can also say it positive or negative flow, out of inspiration or out of desperation flow. All it is interconnected. Means our thinking, if it is flowing in the direction of the thought and the outcome we want, or the goal oriented thinking and energy flow is going in that direction, then it is useful. At that point, what is the main thing? That immediately, if we are going to observe it, that where the energy is going, and we stop thinking about that, and again come in the thoughtful mode, and again start our energy flow in the positive flow, then we can have control over it. Otherwise, it's energy diarrhea, I will say.
Hmm, interesting. Nilesh,
Yeah, please go ahead today because my voice is not clear. I'm coughing and sneezing today.
mhm.
Mm.
Okay, yeah, Maheshwari.
Pinaki ji, what I feel, the book we are reading with Vasudev ji, from Monday to Friday, Essentialism. In that book, we are having all the essence of this book also, and the placebo also.
Yeah, because ultimately we are human beings and we are very good at one activity which is called distortion. That's the communication model of the mind. Delete what we don't find interesting at that point of time, then whatever we pick up, we do two things with that. One is distortion. Distortion means my own meaning making based on the experiences that I have. And generalization is when others are also agreeing to it. And that is the time when we use these words like which ends with ly, words that ends with ly. And If you observe many of times, like I can tell about myself that when I am in this habit that whenever I want to connect it with everyone, I replace I with we. That is the generalization part. That I accept or I agree with myself that the way I am thinking or whatever I am thinking about this is the same that others are also doing. And that is a condition I create on myself so that at least my ego is satisfied. कि खुद के ईगो को सेटिस्फाई करने के लिए किसी और से अप्रूवल लेना जरूरत होती है and to receive that approval instead of I use the word we so that I'm presuming not even assuming I'm presuming मतलब बोलने से पहले ही I'm presuming that others are agreeing with me. So whenever in my communication I use the word we, our, ourselves, I catch myself that what I'm doing with myself. This chapter is talking about that. Thinking is an outcome of establishing my ego. Nothing is wrong with ego. Ego is my own way of thinking about something. You need to catch here. The actual meaning of ego is my way of thinking about it and my agreement for it, my approval for it. कि मैं जैसा सोच रहा हूँ वही सही है उसको मैं अप्रूव भी कर रहा हूँ उसके साथ मैं एग्री भी कर रहा हूँ एंड देन आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग अदर पर्सन टू अप्रूव एंड एग्री विथ मी व्हेन दैट इज नॉट हैपनिंग दैट कॉजेज अ सीरीज ऑफ थिंकिंग इसने मेरे साथ एग्री नहीं किया ये ऐसे अपने अपने हिसाब से बात कर रहा है वो जो कह रहा है वो गलत है मैं जो सोच रहा हूँ ये सही है इसके दिमाग में ये क्यों नहीं घुस रहा है उसके दिमाग में इसलिए नहीं घुस रहा है क्योंकि उसका मॉडल ऑफ द वर्ल्ड अलग है वो उसका ईगो है उसका मीनिंग मेकिंग है जिसको उसने खुद एंडोर्स किया जिसको उसने खुद अप्रूव किया जिसको उसने खुद एक्सेप्ट किया जिसको उसने खुद एक्नॉलेज किया जैसे मैं अपना वाला कर रहा हूँ ना व्हेन आई से somebody that you are doing right again it's I am telling myself I am approving I am accepting I am acknowledging I am agreeing and it's the other way also when I say the other person is not right तब भी मैं वही कर and if there is any contradiction there that is an outcome of my thinking which doesn't allow me to enjoy that state of bliss and I automatically drag myself into that state what that Sakshi was connecting to energy diarrhea. I'm using my energy into something just to prove somebody that I'm right and in all the cases that somebody is I myself it's not the other person when the other person says you're right तब भी मेरी ego satisfy हो रहा है जब when the other person says I am wrong तब भी I am challenging my ego yeah Rajeshwari your thoughts on this See, आपको यही ऑब्जर्व करना है ऑब्जर्व योर थिंकिंग व्हाट यू आर थिंकिंग अबाउट द थॉट व्हिच हैज जस्ट ड्रॉप्ड इनटू योर हेड as you read this chapter how much of that you are agreeing with how much of that you are not agreeing with how much you are agreeing with the viewpoint of somebody else. Just observe them. Like in all my training sessions, I always use this statement. With this new awareness, what do you think possible for yourself now? What do you see possible for yourself now? Because that is what matters. And what author is talking about is the point that I am saying, that is what matters, is that is what will satisfy my meaning making of whatever I am exposing myself to. Yes, Samina, please go ahead. Yes, yes, Vasu, please.
Good morning. Yeah, good morning, all. I believe, that as you said, if it's it's a personal opinion or choice of ours. And if it is we are making it a general statement that we assume that others are also having the same because it's a generalization. And what else is the thing about overthinking is so good here that we are draining our energy by overthinking, and that spark of creativity and uniqueness that we have is being wasted, washed away by the overthinking. So if we remain in a state of bliss, then naturally the overthinking doesn't take place, and when you're in bliss, the new ideas emerge and the uniqueness is not shadowed but comes out in the open, you know, giving a different joy to yourself, inner and outer, a reflection of the world around you, and the world enjoys the benefits.
Replace the entire statement, replace you, your, yourself, we, ourselves with I, me, my, myself. Now
Okay.
observe what is happening. Observe what is happening.
Hmm. Yeah, I believe that the more I think that I am drained of my energy, then I don't do overthinking and I get into the state of bliss to create a spark of joy and uniqueness that I reflect, that it reflects at me, and that shadow is cast upon the world. And I know that that uniqueness is going to help mankind.
Wonderful. Now, since this session is getting recorded, you listen to
Mm,
your own conversation that you said, own sentences. You'll
mm,
notice one thing definitely, that
mm,
you have
mm,
slowed down the moment you replaced all you, yourself, we with I, me, myself.
mm,
You slowed down. You know what happens? With the
mm,
moment you start using first person singular number, you
mm,
actually get focused. The focus comes to you
mm.
and you stop that energy drainage.
Now, also, it you are conditioning yourself, or
I'm
you are,
conditioning myself. I am
yeah,
conditioning myself.
I'm conditioning myself to the spark of that, yes, I believe in this, and this belief is ingrained in me. And if it is not ingrained, I'm ingraining it now. So I
Hmm.
think, yes, what you said, I makes a lot of difference because you're not just um,
I
going.
do not say you.
Yeah, because I'm not going with the flow of, I'm not taking the onus of everyone being in that state, but I'm only taking the onus of myself being in that state.
Yeah, and that's
And
the
it
only
gives
truth.
me, yeah, I understand, Pinaki, what is. It gives me a lot of confidence and joy to use I.
Even using the word we is an example of overthink.
No, we use as a mark of respect. We do not. It's for
Do
the
not,
I.
don't say we. You observe the moment you are using we and you are using I. When you are using I, why you are slowing down? Overthinking doesn't allow us to slow down. Overthinking makes you think more. And when you're thinking more, you're automatically getting into a state which is undesirable.
Hmm.
Hmm. So nothing wrong with that. It is just
Hmm. Hmm.
a point of observation. Just
Hmm.
observe.
Hmm. Yeah, I will.
So if you and I, see, I am saying we in a different way. I am saying you and I. That
Hmm.
also means we only.
Hmm. That also means we. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll notice that this is I use in my conversation. That I say when
Hmm.
you and I. So
Hmm.
so when
But in
you
English, when we say you, it's a general you, not you as a
re-
person.
replace we. In English, when I say, because you are saying,
No, no, that is different. But in English, when you talk, the English
when I
you.
talk, in English, when
Yeah,
I
yeah,
talk,
yeah. Agreed. When I talk or anybody talks, making a general statement. Please allow me to finish. The English you is more general than the Indian you, whether it is Tamil, Telugu, Hindi, Marathi, whichever it is. So in English, when you say you have to do it, it means everybody has to do it, applies to everybody, in me included. Whereas in our Indian languages, this is a difference which is connotatively different. In English, when you say, sorry, in Indian languages, when you say, तुमने ये नहीं करने का हो, आपने नहीं करे, it refers only to one person. These are differences in uses of pronouns. Let us please understand this.
see, the word you is only in English. It is not in any other language.
No, no, in English it is more general. The usage is general,
Yeah,
not so much
because
in our Indian languages.
so we there's no connection with Indian language right now. But we're talking about the use of the word you and how it is impacting my thoughts. The moment you and I use the word you, what happens? The focus goes out of me. It's as simple as that. यू का
No,
मीनिंग कभी आई हो ही नहीं सकता, अगर होता तो दो अलग शब्द नहीं होते. दोनों का फीलिंग्स, दोनों का इमोशंस आर डिस्टिंक्ट, दे आर नॉट इवन कंपेरेबल. देयर इज नो डिफरेंस, दे आर डिस्टिंक्ट. आई डिस्टिंक्ट फ्रॉम यू. द पॉइंट इज व्हाट इज हैपनिंग टू मी व्हेन आई एम यूजिंग द वर्ड यू. वो हमें खुद को ऑब्जर्व करना है. यू भी मेरा ही सोच है. एंड यूजिंग द वर्ड यू इज जनरलाइजिंग. मतलब मैं ये मान रही हूँ कि मैं जो सोच रहा हूँ दूसरे भी ऐसे ही सोच रहे हैं इस वक्त. And that is my own belief, my own feeling at that point of time. Nothing wrong with that. The point is observing that how it is helping me otherwise. Is it helping me? Fine. If it is not helping me, then let me figure out why I can make it, put it in some way such that it eventually helps me. It eventually encourages me, motivates me, inspires me. It's just observing your state of mind, nothing else. In fact, there's nothing right or wrong in life. It's all my own meaning making about something. That's it. And if I tell myself, yes, that my meaning making is right, then I have nothing to do because I am already endorsing it. But if I tell myself that if it is not this, then what else could it be? Then probably I look for some other meaning also. But again, it's all about me. Everything is happening in my brain, my thought. अभी भी मैं दूसरे के बारे में सोच रहा हूँ, वो मैं ही सोच रहा हूँ, वो नहीं सोच रहा है. कि all those things are happening in my brain, inside my brain. My brain is wired in that way. Yes, Vasu, please add.
Yeah, thank you, Pinaki. Yeah, I was just looking into the chapter and the things that are explained into that. If I am able to connect you, then you can read the page number 41, wherein the experience of bringing the mind to a steady state is explained. Like the experiment is to keep water which is with debris and then trying to keep it still so that it comes down and settles. So the same thing is again repeated. Let's see, this take 15 seconds to answer above that, just above that. Yeah. Imagine just a bit above or third of, yeah.
Mm.
Imagine I give you a bowl of cloudy, dirty, murky water. If I asked you, how would you make the water clear? How would you do it? Take 15 seconds to see what your answers comes up before moving on. So most of you have read this uh, earlier. So before looking into the further point, just think what was the answer for this question in this book. So it is that if that is a dirty water is there, let it sit for a period of time. We can see the dirt begins to settle in its own water, and after a while, water become clear on its own. So from there, if we go to the page number 63, in which chapter that I have read just now for all of you. Again, he is bringing the same thought into here that all you have to do is to become aware of that fact, which will settle the thinking just like the debris settling in dirty water. So this is the connection from there to here. And with this state of mind, where the water is settled and the water is silent, then you suddenly feel that in this state of mind, I get a feeling कि कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा है. Although बहुत कुछ हो रहा था, is at this point of time, all the heavyweight particles were going down in the water and the lightweight water are coming on the top of the water and water is on the steady state. But I have a feeling that nothing is happening in this point of time. And that could lead that itna what you call इतना peace हो गया इतना शांति हो गया कि इतना सन्नाटा क्यों है. That kind of questions are now coming in my mind, and that may lead to a worry or anxiety or doubt. So that's what the author also felt, and because this is the hardest part. Now the easy part of it is to slowly capture, take another what you call another shell of vessel of water and then slowly pour it or pick it up from the top so that the debris that has got settled down is not allowed to come into the new container. So here in this, what has happened? In this, what I understood from this is that uh, the lack of activity gives a feeling that nothing is happening, but the lack of activity is making so many things active, and that is creating a space. And that space where it is created, it creates a new energy, which was earlier helping me to think what is happening and keeping my mind busy to fulfill that conditions of earth that my thoughts were coming and my thinking was leading to. It brings me back into a different location where I have a lot of energy now. And this energy, I can get furthermore new thoughts, new energy, just like when I stepped on something, I got afraid that it is a snake, but just looking through after that, I understood this is not a snake. It is of the same color that I had earlier seen a snake of, but it is actually a rope. So for that, I have to stop my thinking, stop the feeling, and I stop my thinking and see what is physically available. And for that, I had to keep my mind silent and cool. So when I am able to do that, then my mind is creating that space to create that new energy. And with this new energy that is coming up, that helps to create new thoughts that are more positive or more creating the goals out of inspiration. And for that, what he shares is that getting into an activation ritual. So with this activation ritual, I can get those thoughts which are on the positive direction, create the goals of what he called as the goals of inspiration. So the goals are now coming from inspiration. So I want to do it because I I love to do it instead of I am want to do it because my boss told me to do it or because I have to do it. So there is a difference. I want to go to a walk. If I go by myself, then it is welcome. If my wife tells me to go for the walk, then I may go out, stand in front of somewhere, or at least sit in the ground, see the matches that is happening. And after 40 minutes, I come back home. I tell my wife that I've done my walk. But when I go for walk by myself, then I will complete my walk. So the goal was of walking for 40 minutes. But when it was from inspiration, I did the physical walk. I walked for 3 kilometers or 4 kilometers, whatever my walking speed is. But when it was from desperation, my wife told me you have to exercise, jao bahar, jaake paidal walking karke aao. Then because it is from a desperation, I have I have spent the time, but I did not really walk. I did not enjoy the walk. So this is what is the activation ritual is about. I have to find that one and then go into that state of non-thinking and flow. Yeah, that's what I wanted to share. That creating the morning routine is what the author is telling about.
Beautifully summarized, and beautifully connected. Cool. Let's go with chapter 12. Who would like to read? Okay, Samina, please go ahead.
Are you telling me so?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Reading, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Nothing is either good or bad. The chapter 12. There is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so, says William Shakespeare. Here's an analogy that helps put this into perspective. On a piano, there are 88 keys. When we look at a piano, we don't point out specific keys for no reason and say that that key is wrong. We only think a specific key is wrong. If we think someone is playing a specific song and hits a key that isn't in the song, inherently the piano has no wrong keys though. There are only keys and notes that sound more or less pleasant when played consecutively. Just like how there are no wrong keys on the piano, there are no wrong decisions in life. There's only thinking that gives us pleasant or not so pleasant feelings. When we put things into a bucket of right or wrong, good or bad, this creates duality and conditions in our lives which determines how we feel. For instance, if we believe that opposing political parties are wrong or bad, this can cause animosity within us and make us feel a concoction of negative emotions. If, on the other hand, we see different political parties in the same way as there are different keys on the piano and how there are no inherently wrong parties, then we open ourselves up to experience love, joy, and peace in the moment. We begin to see alternative perspectives that we haven't seen before and have an opportunity to deepen our understanding of the true nature of life. It's like if we are hiking on a mountain and stop at specific points to look at the beautiful view, there are no wrong spots. that we can stop at, stand in, and take in the magnificence of nature. But by being open to all possible spots, we can stand in, we can see the view from different vantage points we haven't seen before. So instead of looking for right or wrong, good or bad in the world, look for truth. Instead of trying to prove we are right and they are wrong, or how they are better and we are worse, look for the truth in what's in front of you. I would only caution this by saying that many people believe what they think is the truth for the most part without this deeper understanding of life. Most of what we think is not truth, even though it may seem like it. Truth is not subjective. If it is true for one person but not for another, then it is not universal truth. Look for what is universally true for every single conscious human being on the planet, no matter who they are, where they are from, and what their background is. That is the true truth, and that is where you'll find everything you've been searching for. Wow, beautifully said. So remember that the only place you can find this is deep within your being. Don't try to go looking for it outside of you. If you're confronted with something that may stir up negative emotions, go within yourself to find the source of universal truth deep within your soul. If you try to look for the answers outside or try to dig into external reasons for the root of why you feel this way, you'll be looking for the rest of eternity and you will never find it. Negative emotions are an indication of misunderstanding. When we are gripped by negative emotions, it means that we believe that we are what we are thinking. It is in this moment that we simply forget where our experience comes from and that our thinking is the cause of our negative emotions. All you have to do is remember that thinking is the root cause of how we are feeling. Once this is brought into your awareness, don't fight the thinking. Just become aware that it is your thinking that's causing the ill feelings. Welcome it with love, and it will slowly dissipate before your eyes. Not too long after, you'll return to your natural state of peace, love, and joy.
What a beautiful
Any
share.
thoughts on this?
Yes, yes, please share. Please go ahead. Please go
Can
ahead,
we
Samir.
not have positive thoughts, positive thinking linked to thoughts?
What is your take on this?
I personally think that the author is a bit lopsided. He's stressing only negativity which comes with thinking. Whereas if thinking is equivalent to reflection, then evaluation, judgment of life and every situation and problems will bring about positivity and negativity. I should not let myself be dragged towards negativity. Is creating is when I am aware of it. But I also think that thought can lead to positive thinking, which will be innovative, blossoming, inspiring, motivating, and lead to a better thought which will be the base of my life. I personally think that the author is a bit too lopsided, and that's it. Because remember, in the 17th century, a great philosopher from Europe, incidentally, he was from France, and I know French. Everybody knows I have a soft corner for French. So there was an author called, a philosopher called Descartes. And Descartes said that I think, therefore I am. So the moment I stop that thought, I don't have anything else left in life. So thought is important, but thought should be linked to positivity. Why is the author stressing on negativity, that every time you think you get negative thoughts, every time you think you get negative thoughts? No, I don't. I'm a positive person. I think of only positivity. I think the author is a bit too lopsided, and we should know where to believe him and where I should believe him and where I should stop. I think this way. Thank you.
Okay.
My ideas on this chapter that he's trying to say that whatever the thinking is, what we call it positive or negative, it is just thinking. My 6 can be a 9 to other person according to the environment, culture, perspective, or experience or feeling the person is having right that time. Maybe the loud music can be very interesting for me, played on DJ in marriage, but there is a person who is not feeling well, who is having headache already, or having a sore throat problem, and the DJ is playing on his head, then definitely he will not be able to think and feel like the way I am feeling in that marriage party or wherever we are. So, our thinking is based on our perspective, and our perspective is coming from the situation or environment we are in.
My thinking is based on my perspective. It's not our. See, our is again you are expecting an approval of, and that expectation is the thinking part. Think about a world, or think about where you have never heard of this word called negative. सोचो नेगेटिव शब्द आपने कभी सुना ही नहीं और एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करता. Then how will you explain whatever you are explaining? मैं आपको एक बहुत पावरफुल टूल दे रहा हूँ अभी, and आई एम गिविंग दिस टूल टू ईच वन ऑफ यू. इतना पावरफुल है कि इसको आप सिर्फ 7 days के लिए अप्लाई कीजिए, 7 घंटे के लिए अप्लाई कीजिए, एंड यू विल बी लिविंग इन अ वर्ल्ड ऑफ पॉजिटिवनेस ऑल द मोमेंट. जहां पे भी नेगेटिव वर्ड यूज करने का मन कर रहा है ना, वहां पे नेगेटिव को रिप्लेस कर दीजिए पॉजिटिव से. बोलना वही जो आप बोलना चाह रहे हैं. So the same thing, but without using the word negative. See why I'm saying so. Let me just get a little deep. See, in neuro-linguistic programming, it says that every word is stored in our mind as an image. उस word का एक image है मेरे पास. Like अगर if I take you through that process, you'll discover that this is the image that you have about that word inside your mind. And that image has its own emotions attached to it. So every time you think about that word now, you trigger that emotion. And when you say it, you definitely trigger the application of that emotion. Listen to what I'm saying. That when you think about that word, you trigger that emotion. When you say that word, you apply that emotion in that conversation. So when you stop using the word negative in your communication, you may be thinking about it. That's the emotional part. Emotional trigger ho gaya hai. But when you're not using it in your communication, वो emotion apply नहीं हुआ. The conversation remains in a state of positiveness based on the emotions that we're expressing at that point of time. कुछ घंटे के लिए कीजिए. 7 दिन तो बहुत लंबा टाइम मैंने आपको बोला. एटलीस्ट डू इट फॉर द डे. आज के दिन के लिए कीजिए. डू नॉट यूज द वर्ड नेगेटिव इन योर कम्युनिकेशन. नॉट इवन थिंकिंग. अब थिंकिंग होगा. You cannot avoid it. That's a part of life. But at least don't use it in your communication. I'm only talking about one word. There are many other words which weakens us. At least it weakens me. I don't know about it. Like every time I use a not only a negative word, but a weak negative word, it weakens my emotion. It weakens my emotional state at that point of time. And the best way to jump back into the positive state of mind is to use all the positive words in the same conversation. And then you see what happens. बात आप वही कर रहे हो, इमोशन आप वही एक्सप्रेस कर रहे हो. The only thing that you're doing carefully, like which I say that being consciously aware and staying consciously connected. And just stop using any word which gives you that feeling of weakness, gives you the feeling of uneasiness. One of the ways is to replacing negative with positive is by saying we're not so positive. Instead of saying that, when such things happens, I feel negative about it. Replace it with I do not feel positive about it. आपको खाली नेगेटिव वर्ड का इस्तेमाल नहीं करना. आप देखो क्या होगा. मैजिक होगा. You'll experience magic in life. My mentor says that NLP in magic and you are the magician. So to experience that magic and to show that magic to the world outside, the best way is to not use those words which creates the kind of emotion that you don't want. करके देखो. Bad is not so good. So there is assume you have never heard this word called bad. So how will you explain? You will say these are not good words. And instead of saying these are bad words, these are not good words. This chapter itself is so encouraging. It starts with nothing is either good or bad. There is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so.
Yeah, actually, with the example of piano, I was reading the autobiography of Michelle Obama, the wife of Barack Obama, who was the president of US for 2 terms. So, in her autobiography, it has a story wherein she says that she got to learn piano and the piano with which she was learning, of the 108 keys, one of the key at the center, which was being used the most, it had a crack. So she used to take the thumb as the reference for that, and then she used to learn the music based on that. So that was the reference. Well, her right thumb used to reach there, and based on that, she used to know where the other keys are. And when she went for the actual practice, they did a lot of practice. She learned how to run the piano, how to make a song or anything. And then she reached to a place where they went for a competition. And in this competition, because piano is such a big thing, that piano was given from the same piano has to be used by everyone. Now, compared to that piano that she was practicing with her aunt Robinson, this piano did not have that damaged key. And once she went there, she was still not able to know where to start with. Now, the only person who knew that Michelle has this problem of not identifying the center key, because it was very easy for her that this is my center key. उसके बाद उनका जो भी होगा सरेगामा कहाँ है कौन से दबाने से क्या आएगा, she would have realized with that. Now this center key is missing. It would be very difficult for her to identify the key, and suddenly everything would have gone wrong. So Mrs. Robinson, who was her mentor, she came onto the stage. She told her, "This is your center key. Keep your thumb here, and then you can start making the music." So that one change that brought it, she was able to give a good concert at the location. Now, this piano example is again connecting to that, wherein the keys of piano are not having any mistake. They are just how Michelle has taken the example for. If she had, if Mrs. Robinson hadn't come on the stage and told her this is the center key, or even Mrs. Robinson did not realize that Michelle is getting into a problem, just think what would have happened to that beautiful night with lot of practice that Michelle had done, and what would be the music coming out. So there are no wrong keys in the piano. There are no wrong thoughts. It is how after the thought I make my thinking into, where I take that thinking into, and that brings a change in the aspect. Now my wife has this habit of keeping things in the refrigerator. So if I feel that by keeping the fruits in the refrigerator, I am not seeing it, so I am not eating it. And after 10 days, I realized that this fruit was brought and I did not eat it because it was not visible. Now, there are two things of looking at it. One, for 2 days, the fruit was kept outside. I did not consume it. So my wife did not want that to get damaged. So she kept it inside. So that is one thought, positive thought, or I can ask her, I remember bringing those fruits, where are they? So she can say, yes, I have put it in the fridge, you can take it, it is on the second shelf, first shelf, wherever. Or I can say that my wife wanted me not to eat that fruit, so she kept it away from my sight. So now you realize that that is one part of it. The second part of it is, now suppose I am suffering from some problem due to which gets aggravates when I eat that particular fruit. And with that, to avoid me getting, if I see that fruit, I am not able to stop myself, I eat it. And so my wife has hidden it away from my eyes. Now, the activity in all the three cases wherein the fruit is hidden from my sight, there are three different outputs to this. One is because I think that I should not consume it as a negative thing, but my wife thinks it as a positive thing, that it is not visible, so he will not eat, so he will not have that suffering. So her what you call, her intention is positive, but may I take it negatively, or her intention is positive to keep it in the fridge because I have spent the money, I have brought it, so why should I make it damaged? Why should I let it rot? So, so she protects it. So here her intentions have been positive, but if I see it in the negative connotation, then things become negative. So it is the thinking that is leading to the negative part of it. And to get out of it, I have to either question that कि कहाँ गया, क्यों रखा था, or learn from my own experience. So if I keep on thinking in the negative thought that she has hidden it from me every time, and after 15 times, 16th time, I realize that when I ask her, she says that अरे तुमने खाया ही नहीं 2 दिन इसलिए मैंने अंदर रखा था. Then it is a different thought that comes in. So that is how I was able to connect to the piano example. That piano is not having the mistake. So many things are not mistake by themselves. It is how we make out of it that it becomes a wrong one. So that is my learning from this chapter. Thank you.
Can I add something a little different? The piano is consciously made by the human being with positive notes only. But my mind is a natural state of mind which can give positive and negative. So I need to
Replace
control my
negative with
thoughts
positive.
and to orient my feelings. This is a wise human being. So to
Okay.
compare myself with my thoughts with piano, I don't think it's the right way.
Okay, wonderful. So we had a great session this morning.
So we can't hear you.
Wonderful. We had a great session this morning. Wonderful thoughts crisscrossing my mind right now. Nothing right, nothing wrong about them. Just observing that how these thoughts are going to impact my way of living and how I can make my life better using all the thoughts which are coming to me through all of you. So that's phenomenal. Thank you so much for this wonderful morning.
Thank you, everybody. Bye bye.
Okay,
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
bye.